Hey there, on a recent Disney Wish cruise, we purchased the Rainforest Room Length of Stay Pass in the Senses Spa. In this video, we're going to go through the spa and talk about various aspects of the spa as we experienced it. This was a 3-night cruise on the Disney Wish, and it cost $179 per person for the Rainforest Room. This was really a lot more than we had just paid. We had gotten off a cruise on the Disney Dream just 2 days earlier, and it was only $119 for 5 nights. The two experiences are somewhat different, and we will talk about that in this video. As you'll see, we will go through all of the indoor facilities that they have, and we will also go outdoors and show you what is available outside of there. And that's really the one big different thing here on the Disney Wish is that outdoor area.
So after my husband recorded this video, I realized that I actually had a few more complaints and comments that I would like to add.
So I'll make some comments, then my wife will make some comments throughout the video, and I think you'll see our true opinion of the Rainforest Room here on the Disney Wish. Well, after checking in the beginning, you go in, get your robes, and then you get to go to the dressing room, the locker room, and change. The one thing about the Disney Wish and the Rainforest Room, there's this relaxation area in the front that's a little bit different. It's kind of cool, something that you do not see on the Dream or the Fantasy, for example. Here you see the indoor of it, all the towels, all the sinks. You can tell at the men's urinal, there's shower. There's also a sauna area in the individual locker rooms as well. A lot of nice products, shaving supplies, deodorants, lockers, free for use as you're in this rainforest area. Here's some of the supplies that you'll see. Really a nice area here on the in the Rainforest Room and the Senses Spa. Note that the dressing room did have a water bottle filling station in each one of the men's and the women's, as well as this little device to dry your swimsuit. So that's pretty cool to have in there. As you see here, here are some of the products, the hair products, the deodorants, the shaving creams. You can get razors. Another thing about these specific locker rooms, they can only be used for those folks that are using the Senses Spa and the Rainforest Room, unlike the other ships where if you're just using the gym, you can get back to these locker rooms.
I was unable to locate the free items that are available on all the other ships. Maybe I missed them. Maybe they were around a corner. I didn't explore, but I looked several times and I never found them. So I do have to add something about the women's changing room on this ship. And I'm sorry to keep comparing to the other ships, but it was just so much different. The women's changing room on the Wish never seemed the least bit welcoming, and I actually felt like I was somewhere that I shouldn't be every time that I went in there. After getting this spa pass on several ships, I feel like I know how to use the lockers, but I'm telling you, the Disney Wish has different lockers, and they never worked. Ever. Not one time. And I do have to add that I know I wasn't alone because there were other people in there with me who also were struggling, and none of us could get the lockers to lock or even attempt to get them to work whatsoever. So everyone ended up carrying their stuff back there and like having to set it beside the bed or hang it outside of the saunas. This comment is probably something that everyone's going to be like, really? But the other ships have a scale, so if you do want to know how your weight has fluctuated throughout the cruise, you can actually check it. But the Wish didn't have a scale.
So after you've put your stuff in the locker and you've got yourself ready to go to the Rainforest Room, you leave out of this room, as you will see here. Here are the towels and so forth. And you will start walking down a hallway towards the very front of the ship is where you're walking towards. So you'll start walking down the hallway. You'll see all of these different types of interesting chandeliers and signs along the way. And you do see this sign right here that says "This way to the Rainforest Rooms." And also, this is the direction you would go, various hallways back and forth if you had some type of treatment in this rainforest area as well of the Senses Spa on the Disney Wish. As you see here, we are continuing down the hallway of all sorts of interesting lights and things. Here's those little offshoots of hallways. When you get to the rainforest room, you use your band and you tap it and you get into the rainforest room at that point and you walk right in. Here's the information about the rainforest room, just the basic facts related to it. It's reserved for guests 18 and up, so forth and so on. Um, it's really, just basic information related to the room. Okay, here's kind of a pan around the room. You can see the heated stone beds there in the back. There's this little area in the middle. It's cute, but in all reality, what is it? It's kind of just an area where there's swings and water. They don't swing very much, but it's a certain area. Back in the corner there is a sauna, and here there is that cold room that we will talk about here in a little bit. We'll go in there and show you a little bit about that one as well. Also, you will see, here's the door we just came through. You see towels, they're there ready for you. There's also something added here that I really like. It's a beverage area where you can get regular water, cold water or sparkling water, as well as teas. Something that's been added that is not on the Disney Dream that we were just on a couple of days before then. So to me, something really cool and special and different about this one. Definitely an upgrade from the Dream and the Fantasy.
So for me, I'm not a tea drinker. So this area was not my favorite. I actually prefer the other ships where they have basic ice water that's really cold, and then another thing of like lemon water or lime water, depending on who made it that day.
Well, after you get your beverage, you're going to be ready to go back and do different things. The first thing we're going to show you is we're going to go into the laconium sauna. This sauna is located in the back right corner. You can see it right here. There's no windows in this sauna. It's you just walk right in. You saw the lights on in the very beginning, and then they went off. There's really no rhyme or reason of why they do that. I kind of like it that they did. There's these things on the ceiling, but for the most part when we were in there, it was fairly bright. So that was a little bit unusual. The heat in there, it's more of a dry heat than you'll see in some of the other ones. Here's the basic information about the laconium. So all in all, the laconium dry heat is what you're going to get in this sauna. It's a nice new area here in the Rainforest Room on the Disney Wish. The things on the side of the wall there, if you notice, you flip them over and they're in 15-minute increments, so you know how long you've really been in there when you flip those. You're going to get a sweat going, no doubt about it, when you're in these. There's also those little, some people will get on the top, some people get in the middle, some people will get on the bottom. But all in all, we do like this room. I just wish the lights would go off a little bit more than they do and be a little bit darker. This room is compared, there's also a laconium on the Disney Dream and the Disney Fantasy. The cool thing about those ships is that there's actually a floor-to-ceiling window that you can look out of when you're in that specific area of the Rainforest Room on those ships. But all in all, we do like this room on the Disney Wish. The next area we go into is the hammam sauna. This is a very wet sauna. Again, here it says temperatures between 104 and 113. That may be the case. I think it's probably warmer in both of these, in all honesty. As you see here, it's recommended that you only stay in this one 15 minutes versus up to a maximum time of 30 minutes on the laconium that we just looked at. As you can see here, the camera picks up about what you actually do see. It's very hard to see the person directly next to you in this sauna. It's kind of interesting. You can see the lights that are above, but the steam, and it's very wet, and really it is dripping on you a lot of the time. As far as the heat is concerned, it is warm, but it's still not as warm, in my opinion, as the laconium. But it is so different. It is so wet and dripping, so maybe if that's what you want to partake in and that's what you want to do, this is perfect for you. But I must admit, it was just a little strange, a little dark, a little different with this heat and moisture mixture. In fact, a lot of the time down on the floor, the water would pool up and it's almost like you were splashing through puddles as you would go into the room. So honestly, this one was not our favorite sauna of the two more heated ones. We went into it every time about just to try to see if it was a different experience, but all in all, we didn't love this one. Next up, we went into the Frigidarium. You can see here the temperature is 57 degrees. Recommended you not stay in any longer than 15 minutes. It was chilly, it was cold, especially after you went into the heated saunas. They had this big ice thing in the middle that would grow and it would change colors. Uh, it was interesting, but I'm not sure it is something that I expected it to be, in all honesty. When you go in the room, those look like ice things you sit on that just looks like ice. This thing in the middle was the coolest because that ice would grow, it would change in color. It was something new and different. But I'm not sure it was something that I absolutely positively loved besides the way that it looked in many ways. You would just sit in there and watch this ice grow and grow and go upward and change colors. To me, that was the most relaxing thing about this room. Again, I don't think it was near as cold as I thought it was going to be, especially after going into the other saunas. It was a unique thing. But then again, I think I love the three hot-like saunas, wet and dry, more so than I do this cold Frigidarium experience. Next, I'm going to go out into the middle. Again, there's those swings over the water in the middle, really never used, and it's kind of odd because it is in the very middle of everything in this experience. Behind those and behind that curtain are the various heated beds. You'll see here are some of the showers, and that's what we're going to go into next, are the showers, and look at those. But these heated beds are strange on this Disney Wish versus the Dream and the Fantasy because they're essentially out in the open, and it makes if you're near that shower, you're going to get splashed, for example. Also, you really don't have much privacy if you're either in those heated rock beds or if you're in the showers either. In fact, we didn't see many people in the showers ever as compared to what we would normally see on the Dream and the Fantasy.
Hey, I do have a very positive comment I can make. I love the fact that they have these dividers in between the hot beds so that you can pull the curtain and have a little bit of privacy. Okay, one of the biggest differences is the music. The other ships, it's calm, it's relaxing, it's peaceful. You really feel like you're in a spa. On the Disney Wish, we hired a band. The tempo was much faster, and it was not like the normal, just calm instrumental sound.
So let's take a look at all these showers. Here you have the Aqua Rivas that's over near the Laconium. What I'm doing here is I'm just basically hitting the buttons and showing you the various ways that you can actually do the shower. It's kind of hard to see what they do, but you can see the various items. Once you click them, you can get a middle of the shower area. You can get the whole thing, different aspects of it. To me, this again was out towards the middle. This one was probably the most private one back in the corner near that one Laconium spa or sauna. But overall, I'm not sure who is going to use these, and I can tell you on the 3 days that we were on the Disney Wish, not many people use these at all. The next one we're going to show you here is actually in the very middle of that room. You can see another shower over to the right. You can see one of the beds. We're just kind of clicking the buttons and showing you the showers that come down. But all in all, when you're looking at these, you're in the very middle of that room. So unless you're really wanting to do that specific shower or know the specific types of shower that you want, there would be really no reason to go to this shower. Nobody was ever there besides us clicking that button to figure out, how does this work? What does it do? Is there anything special? This experience with the showers is so different from the Dream and the Fantasy. We love those showers much better. Each one of those has its own little room, its own little lights, and this one just seems to be different and just too exposed to everyone in that room.
Park still is.
Here we're showing the various area there in the middle as well. We're going to move over towards the third shower, as you will see here, kind of again panning around and seeing if there were a lot of people in there. And this, I'm not sure, I think this was the last night. So folks were at dinner and so forth. But, you know, when people were in there, generally speaking, you would not want to be in these showers because you were going to be front and center to them as you were taking the shower. So we went to this third one and we started again, just like the other ones, trying to figure out what really went on here, what is happening with these showers.
If you're in that shower and somebody's sitting
So here we are. We have one of the settings going right beside these beds. Very close, kind of strange as we have noted. We've gone in and clicked some of the other ones as well. There was one setting when I went in and clicked it, it was like a waterfall was hitting you. So that was kind of a unique experience as well. Sometimes it would come out hot, sometimes it would come out cold. There's the side little items there, which are interesting, but I never could really figure out the hot, the cold, and how all that worked. There's the one that came from the sides. You're going to, you know, if you really knew what you were doing there and what it was, it might be something very positive to you, but I'm telling you, if you're sitting in that bed, you're going to get splashed. So maybe these showers are something that you'll enjoy. We tried them. We tried to see what they would do, but all in all, I don't think they are in a good spot here on this Disney Wish. So kind of just summing up the inside portion of the Rainforest room here in the Senses Spa on the Disney Wish. Just kind of unusual. Again, very expensive. $179 for 3 nights versus the Disney Dream just a couple of days earlier, 5 nights for $119 for a length of stay. Not very much privacy on this ship. Just all in all, different and more expensive. And I'm not saying any better. Definitely, I think I prefer the fantasy and the dream over this, but I am glad that I tried this portion. So now let's take a look at the outside spa area or rainforest room area. This is looking down from the deck above at the very front of the ship. You can see this is a very nice area. This is the area that's unique to this ship, and I'm sure the Treasure and the ships that are coming as well that are similar. This portion, you can go outside, adults only, of course, because you're in the Senses Spa Rainforest room. You have those hanging beds, which are very cool. You have that hot tub that's very cool, and other areas out there that are interesting and different from, for example, the adults area. And that's kind of valuable here on the Disney Wish because, as you know, the adults area that's contained up there or back in the back of the ship is kind of a congested area. It's all kind of crammed in there. So if you want an adults only experience, this is probably the big advantage of this rainforest room on the Disney Fantasy, is that you have this specific area that adults can go into, and only adults. But you also think about anybody can walk up here and look down on you, can cause a ruckus above you, or something of that nature. But all in all, looking at this is the positive aspect of the rainforest room on the Disney Wish. Okay, here we are at the level of that area at the front of the ship. You can see the hot tub there. There's a hot tub on the other side as well. They weren't used that much when we were down there. Here's a shower that you can use before you get into the hot tub or afterwards, or if you've been in the hanging beds. Those are chilled towels that you can get in that little refrigerator there if you get warm in this area of the ship. And then the last photo that we're going to show is one just of the various hanging beds. Those are very cool. Sometimes we notice, though, that those would fill up. You weren't necessarily going to get one of those, kind of like the heated beds inside sometimes. But that is what it is. All in all, I think someone would get this area. They would purchase the length of stay pass, perhaps because the other area that's the adult area on the ship is an area that's very congested, not very private, and sometimes you would actually see kids running through that area.
So I normally don't talk in these videos, but I wanted to make sure that we talk about the swinging beds in the outside portion of this area. I thought that we would be able to go out here at night and actually be able to lay in the swinging bed and look at the stars and have a nice, peaceful, relaxing, adult-only space that we could retreat to. So on the very last day, as we were checking out at the front desk, I asked, why is the area outside not open at night? And the lady looked really shocked and was like, well, they should have covered this with you on the first day when you did the tour, but they didn't. So this area outside is actually directly underneath the bridge. And if they turn any lights on, then we will disturb the people who are trying to steer the ship. So obviously they can't let anyone out there after dark. One key thing to point out about this is that you do not have access to the hot tubs after dark because they are all outside in this area that you can't access. In comparison to the other ships where we have purchased the Spa Pass, those ships haven't had an area that is not accessible after dark. So for me, this was one of the bigger letdowns, was the fact that I could not go lay in this swinging bed after dark or access the hot tubs. I do believe that part of the reason things felt different in this spa is because the entrance was separate from the gym. So if you were going to the gym, you actually took a right, you went in a different door. If you're going in the spa, you went to the left and you went in, checked at the desk, checked in with the ladies at the desk, and then you went down a long hallway. Well, you would have no reason to be in that spa area unless you had the Rainforest Pass or you had some sort of treatment that was booked. So I think that might be part of the reason why it felt strange, because you had to have a reason to be walking past that front desk check-in, whereas on all the other ships, there could be people coming and going all day long going to the gym, but you didn't have that here because the gym was on the opposite side.
So that's our opinion of the Rainforest Room in the Senses Spa on the Disney Wish. Something that I'm glad we did, but at $179 for 3 nights, very expensive. And at the end of the day, I think we like the spa, the Rainforest Room in the Senses Spa on the Disney Dream and the Disney Fantasy better.